Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic, and this is another reaction to Oregairu. It is episode 13, and you know what to do. As always, if you want to see the reaction itself, just go down into my descriptions, follow the links, replace the parentheses, dot parts with real dots, and enjoy. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and hear out my thoughts about this episode. So see you soon. For those that came back, welcome back. Now, an episode about sports. Well, what should go wrong, right? I find it quite good. I like the episode in general. So we had the intro talking about the idea of Olympics and of the spirit of just doing it and not joining without the idea of winning, so that you compete although you are not the one that is about to win. The way is the goal, something like that, and not so much of a surprise, Hikki kind of torpedoing that into the ground by saying, well, if you have no chance of winning, why should you be there? And if you say that just competing is already its own reward, shouldn't be not competing kind of similar? Give you a point there as well. So, well, he misses some stuff like you're moving, you're doing something good for your body, you're interacting with others socially, but seeing where he's coming from, yeah, well, not so much of a surprise. And the two others, Yui and Yuki, were kind of agreeing there. And if I look at this episode, in the beginning, they were all more neither against the festival, and after the festival, they were kind of, yeah, okay, let's do that again next year. We had fun. That's the thing here. And they did. I mean, you could see it. It was nice. So, the athletics festival. And we got a bit of background here. But the one that is organizing it, the head of it, again, asked the club to help to make it a, as we have here, smash. And I think it looked like, and they had, sun, they had good weather, so they had the benefit there of the timing. We got a bit of background information about someone called Nagayama that seems to have a problem with Hikki in the past, a soccer guy. I don't know. But yeah, so we had a split up in two teams, Team Red and Team White. In general, you could say Team Red, our guys, and Team White, Hayama. That's it. You don't need anyone else. You just need him. He is the team. So Mr. Paladin here, not only good and charming and nice, but good at sports as well. They tried to come up with ideas, and I was kind of guessing there, because all ideas were denied by the teacher, who once again lured them in, that she was maybe waiting for Hikki to make up an idea and then just go with that. It kind of felt like that, because I realized everyone was bringing up ideas except for Hikki, and she was the one denying them all, stating that the problem is that people would feel hurt in their feelings by, if we go with something with bread, then those who don't like bread will be against it and will sue us for it and stuff like that. It was sometimes a bit far-fetched, I think. It is a very typical problem, however. I can see that when you set up festival ideas or anything at this time, you really, really have to take political correctness into the boat. And that's much of a problem, because the larger the festival you have, the larger the organization, whatever you're trying, the more likely it is that there will be someone who doesn't like it. So, and seeing it was about hurt feelings, it would have been kind of interesting to see them follow an idea of Hikki, who, well, kind of shatters feeling all the time. So, I kind of thought that is what she was going for. But no, instead Hikki, in the end we took the idea of Hikki, you could say. His idea was to bring in outside people, those here, outsourcing the problem, and those who are maybe not so much about sports, but about creating events thinking of events. So it makes absolutely sense to bring in Yoshiteru, who is in a world of imagination, who has good fantasy and very likely can get in with great ideas. And you bring in Abina, as that we learned from that she is good at that as well. She's the one that made theater plays and so on. So those two are a really good team. I can see that. Both very weird in their very own kind of way. Both charming and lovable due to that, in my opinion. So they came up with the idea, and I like it that they didn't point out what the ideas were, but we instead learned of them while seeing the festival later on, because it makes it more interesting for me as well as one that views it. So the other team, as I already mentioned, has Hayama, and it was not much of a surprise that you could see that he is winning it. Wherever he was, he got in the most points. So he put up quite a favorable lead for his team until they were at the last two games. So talking about the last two games, is it? So there was the girls' game, which was, I would say, majorly won by Yuki, while Yui had to run away all the time from one person in this picture. So Ibina was a bit creepy, to say. But they won that one. And I found it kind of interesting that they were like agreeing with the appearance they had with this knight and armor thing, which I liked clearly. But normally you would say something like it is strange and creepy and I don't want to wear it, but they were in for it and I like it. And then we had the last game. Now that is a big one. So we had Team Hayama on the one side and Team I would say Hikki, but we had, I'm always forgetting his name. Wait. There he is, Totsuka Saiko. So we had Saiko even wearing a team captain outfit. By the way, Hayama didn't. And everyone was just falling for cuteness. So they played that cuteness card kind of a lot this episode. But it was nice. And I really asked myself where they are going with this. So we even had this moment when one of his teammates defends him as his captain, and he just says arigato, he just says thank you. And both players just fall down. No, it was like 6 or 8 even, fall down due to cuteness. What a mean attack. I mean, that's just, he could just stand in front of this pole and be nice, and they would possibly not push it over. What? That's a major power. You can't deny it. So, the game in the end was about a double bluff. I like that idea. So, Yoshiteru overacting and thus drawing attention on him, while Hikki was just moving slowly towards the pole. And that played on something that, so Hikki calls this Hikki Ghost or Hikki Shadow, something like that. But it plays on something that he mentioned already. The fact that he is like invisible for many people. Because people don't realize he's there. Maybe partially because they don't want to. And he is kind of used to just sneak by. Without sneaking, just being normal. Boring kind of. And that is a true thing. I don't know how it is for you, but I realized it and I know many, I talked about that as well. It's the middle of the night. You stand up and, especially in the time when you're living with your parents or stuff like that, and you just want to go to the kitchen, to the toilet, wherever. So you try to be sneaky. You try not to make much sound. And you feel like you are stepping on everything that is able to make sounds. Everything is squeaking. Everything, there is no silence. While when you just stand up and go there without thinking about it, you're way more silent. It is a weird thing. At least it feels like. So, being normal is blending in, that is true. One that is sneaking is standing out because he behaves differently and moves differently. So it would have worked. But there's one who always keeps an eye out for him, and that is Hayama. And I understand that point of view. So he was, looking for him. And they didn't show it, but I can kind of envision it, him standing there and scanning the teams, every player, and be like, where is Hikki? He has to be somewhere. And then there's this moment when, although Hikki is moving very cautiously and you cannot really see him, you realize that all of your teammates running into one direction, and one is moving slowly in the other. And you're possibly clever enough, in case of Hayama, to understand that this was a distraction that's happening there. So he catched him. He realized the wrong headband, which, yes, clearly made the disqualification later on, and rightfully so. So he could have just tried it without, I think. And then we have that, as I said, double bluff. So this was a distraction as well, which means, and that's a big one, that Hikki was aware of the fact that Hayama will look out for him, that Hayama will catch him. I mean, it would have worked either way. If he wouldn't have been caught, he would have pushed over the pole, win, victory. If he is caught, he then still can count a shout out for Yoshiteru to run him over, because they are all moving to him to face him, because then he is the distraction and being loud. So, it was a nice tactic, a clever tactic, and it would have worked if not for the headband. And it did work because Yoshiteru ran him over, which I really like, because he is portrayed in the beginning as this kind of weird guy, a bit overdressed, living in very much in fantasy worlds and all of that. But he is a big guy nonetheless, which is shown more of like on the chubby side for me, it felt like. But you can see here, he is using this one attack we all have, which is a bull rush, and it worked. Nice one. Sorry. Holy back. So on the paper they won there at this moment. They had the victory. They had the feeling of victory, which is nice. Which makes the loss later on a bit harsher, because the headband disqualified them. But they didn't go in for that. I mean, and funnily enough, it is fitting again, because Hikki was in the last episode the one that was not liked, and now the half of this school is losing due to him. So it's just fitting. Possibly there will be more of you moments now. So I like it. I like the fact that they pointed out those two characters here a bit more. We have seen again the interactions in those characters. That's a good one. So and they're waiting for next year. So what a good one. Nice episode, enjoyed it, and looking out for the next one. So until then, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. My name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye and out.